Hello everybody, this is Money Mom. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about a question that I have been asked, and I really think it's a good one and a good discussion to have. What do you do if you have no retirement and you're older now, and so it's kind of late to play catch up? What are some ideas? What can you actually do? Let me get started and talk about it. I do know of folks that maybe they at one time did have some retirement, but because of certain things that happen, could it be a job loss, family emergency, health situation, all of those types of things, they don't have the retirement that they did. And life happens sometimes when we're making plans and not making plans. We can agree with that. We've spoken about this before. You guys know I grew up in the heart of the 1970s. I am from Minnesota, and many of the companies that we had growing up, you had a pension with it. You were part of a union and you had a pension. And a lot of folks back then, they retired when they were in their late 50s, like anywhere from age 57 to 62. Now, I'm not saying there aren't some folks still doing that, but not as many as when I grew up. That being said, what are some things that people can actually do if, we'll say they're in their 60s and they have barely anything for retirement? So I wrote some ideas down. The first one is, number one, assess your situation. Kind of do a sit down and look at your budget. Look at the money that you have coming in. Look at the money you have going out. What do you still owe a mortgage? What are your assets? All of that. Kind of do an assessment of everything. Look at everything that you own and look at all the money coming in and how much you're making. How much money do you have left over after the month? Really sit down and figure that out and see where you're at. You got to have a starting point. So that would be number one. Number two, and I know this one seems obvious, but let's say that you're 62 years old and you work a full-time job and you make okay money and you have a little bit of retirement, but not enough to, quote, live off. So look at what you have, see if you have any debt, and if you can work on, before you decide to retire, to pay off any debt, whether it's mortgage or consumer debt, car payment, to become as debt-free as you can. So that's number two. Number three, which kind of brings me to the same type of thing, see what you can do to lower your bills. I know I've mentioned this several times. I've read this before. The three huge things that cost people a lot of money would be housing, your health, so anything dealing with your health or health insurance. Now this depends where you live, however. And number three, transportation. If there's a way that you can lower those, that would be fabulous. I know of someone, and I've mentioned this before, that instead of renting a one-bedroom apartment and paying $1,200 to $1,400 a month, this particular person rents a room. And because of that, that saves that person a lot of money, so they can use that money towards other things. So that would be an example. I've known of people that they share a vehicle and they share the expenses of a vehicle, or they carpool. You can share that. Also medical. Now, and we have heard this one before. I'm not a medical doctor, but anything you can do to prevent you and do things to create more health in your life, that's always a win too. So all of these types of things can be positive. For me, we already know what that thing is. Keep dropping weight and actually keeping it off. And my doctor would definitely agree with that. So figure out ways that you can lower your current bills. And that way you don't have as much going out of the house every month. Number four, we've heard folks say this one, work longer. A lot of people think, oh, I'm 65, I should retire. Well, I have known many people that really enjoy their job and they like working. So just because society says so, some of the sharpest, most articulate people I know are people that are still working. I actually know somebody that's in her 90s that works part-time, and she enjoys getting out, and she's very articulate. She loves to keep busy. So work longer. That's number four. Number five, and this is one that I know somebody personally that did this. I knew someone that had nothing saved for retirement at all, and they did not have any kind of pension. They didn't have any type of money in the market, but their bills were quite low, so that really helped. That being said, what this particular person did is they wanted to retire from their particular job because they were kind of stressed out over that job. They did get Social Security and then they went and got a part-time job, and this particular part-time job actually had a pension plan with it. It wasn't a big one, but they worked the part-time job for 10 years. So then when that 10 years was up, they had a small pension from that particular job and their Social Security, and they didn't have a lot of bills, they didn't have any debt, so they could live off all of that. So you could always go and get a part-time job with really good benefits. There are companies out there that do have good benefits. You just have to do your research. So you could work a part-time job or even maybe a full-time job and possibly get a pension from that, and look for one that offers that. Number 7, you can wait for Social Security. You don't have to get it at age 62 or 66, 67. There are some folks, because they want a little bit more, they'll wait to age 70. You'll have to do your research and see what works for you. And all of these guys are just ideas. I am not a financial expert. Do your own research, and please talk to the actual experts that may have more knowledge definitely than I do about all this. Okay, number 8, and I know of a lot of senior citizens that do this. They do all sorts of side hustles. I know somebody that is in her late 60s and she cleans houses part-time. I know somebody else that does a little bit of babysitting. I know someone else that does some meal prep for people. And I know other folks that do arts and crafts and they sell some of those items. There's always little things that you can do to make money, whether it's your own little business, you get like a little cottage business, or whether it's, mystery shopping or doing demos. There's always little part-time things so you can supplement whatever you have, whether it's investments, Social Security, small pension. You can always do little supplemental things to help you get by. And then I put number 9, start investing now. Let's say that you're 62 and you're like, you know what, I'm going to work another 10 years. You could work on all of these things, such as lowering your bills, becoming debt-free, working on investing in the market. That's what I was going to mention, is that you can start investing now, and in 10 years, you might have a little bit of a nest egg. So that could be helpful, in addition to all the other ideas. The last idea that I wrote down is this. A lot of people that I know of that want to retire 5-7 years, one of the big things that they're doing is if they own a home, they're starting to fix their homes up. Like, for example, getting new carpet, maybe getting new siding, getting a new roof, all of those things while they have the money. So that way when they retire, their house is all fixed and they're not having anything they're having to repair. So basically, keeping your home and your car and everything repaired to the best of your ability, so when you are ready to, quote, retire, or what I call semi-retire, and that's what I plan on doing. When I'm 67, I plan on semi-retiring. That's my plan right now. And so that's one of my plans, is just making sure everything at my house is all fixed up, so that I'm not, as soon as I, quote, semi-retire, I don't say, oh gee, I need new flooring, oh, I need a new roof. That I have those things taken care of when I have more money. The bottom line is that there are so many creative ways to make money and save money, and there's just so many opportunities out there if we start doing our research. That being said, one of the best things that we can do for ourselves is do whatever we can to maintain our health, so we are able to. And one of the best ways that we can maintain our health is to do everything we can to enjoy life, to be grateful, and to reduce stress. That right there is one of the components that can help us have a healthier life. That's all I have to say for now, guys. I'd love to know from you. What would you tell somebody that's 62 that has nothing saved for retirement? What are some ideas you'd share with them? I'd like to hear from you in the comments below. That's all for now. I love you. I appreciate you. And like always, I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.